But here itself, we can see there are different people who are of different age. We have a newborn baby there, or maybe how old is she? 1 year old. And there are some people who are how old are you, sir? 73. Anybody beyond 73 here? Okay, so we have a wide spectrum, right? And we sometimes think the time is in my hand or in my side. A young boy looks at the clock. He thinks the clock is going very slow. He wants the time to go very fast. But somebody who is at the ripe age of life, they think, oh, time is running away. I've got very less time. So there's a very interesting phenomena called life, which each one of us we have to go through, unique experiences. But the Vedic scriptures very aptly summarize, no matter what you do, where you are coming from, how successful you may be in materially, the real success in life lies in if you are able to remember the Lord at the time of death. Ante Narayana Smriti. Very powerful verse. Etavan Janma Labha Parapumsan. This is the highest gain. Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samsaya. If you are able to remember me at the time of death, then you will be dodging this cycle of birth and death. You will not be entering into the cycle of birth and death. Rather, you will come back to me. Whereas somebody who has got this materialistic desires, like all of us, if we have not practiced throughout our life, then at the time of death, as Bhagavad Gita says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam eveti konteya sadatad bhava bhavita. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whatever state we remember at the time of death, that we will attain in the next life. There is no doubt about it. So the power of thought is very important. And we live in a world where we are filled with distractions. The students often come, I'm not able to concentrate, I'm not able to focus. What should I do? Even the people who are working outside, they feel there are a lot of stress. They don't know how to handle with this. So actually spirituality offers something which is very practical, tangible. Sometimes people think they are some faith-based or some sentiments. Actually it's a science. It is not that science and spirituality are mutually exclusive. Not true. Spirituality is as scientific as you can think it to be. I myself an ardent fan of science. Having studied engineering, having done MBA, I have given up my life to dedicate for propagating this mission, this knowledge, which is very essential for people. A, people are ignorant. B, people don't have time. They don't have understanding and priority. So in all those circumstances, it's a very helpless situation, and they go through this rot, this mad rush to become successful, accomplished, and they miss out the goal of life. We've been given this very rare gift of human birth, and we should utilize it properly. So now today, on the 15th day, which is November 11th, we will talk about one verse which talks about four things. Whether you are a materialist, whether you are a spiritualist, doesn't matter. This verse has got four things which are very powerful, and that teaches us that when there are some kind of tests in our life, if we have these four things, it helps us to overcome the distractions of mind. It helps us to remain calm. It helps us to remain equipoised. So before we begin, let's start with Pranam to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminate Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Branda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this verse you can repeat after me. Pranayo Marana Antah Syat Kopastu Kshanabhanguraha Upadesho Yatha Kalam Vidveshana Kadachana Pranayo Marananta Syad Kopastu Kshanabhanguraha Upadesho Yatha Kalam Vidvesho na Kadachana Pranayo Marananta Syad कोपस्तु क्षणभङ्गुरः उपदेशो यथा कालम् विद्वेषो न कदाचन. So you are 4 people over there. What are your names? Subhanga. Vishan. Vishal. Okay. Arun. Dipesh. Arun, Dipesh, Vishal and Subhanga. Okay. So each one of you have to remember one line. For you, Subhanga, pranayo maranantah syat. Can you repeat? Syat. Pranayo maranantah syat. Repeat. Okay. Maranantah syat. For you, Vishal, kopastu kshanabhanguraha. So when he says, we all can repeat. Not that we have to see what he is saying. We all can repeat. Yes, please go ahead. After he finishes, we will repeat. Kopastu kshanabhanguraha. Arun? No, third one. Upadesho yatha kalam. Ah, 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 ah. Okay, when he says that, we will repeat. Again, say it. Upadesho yatha kalam. And Dipesh? Very good. Vidvesho na kadachana. So we will do one more time. Go in the same order. Pranayo maranantah syat. Next. Very good. Kopastu kshanabhanguraha. Upadesho yatha kalam. Vidvesho na kadachana. Okay, so you just repeated something very powerful which the Vedic literatures tell. 4 things. Again, we will come back. We will also ask others whether they remembered or not. But at least you have to remember your line. So your line is, so the translation is, till the end of our lives, we should be loving to all. Our anger should not last for more than a moment as needed by the situation. And we should not carry it over with us. We should not be giving advice to everyone all the time. Advice should be given based on time, place and circumstances. Never should we be inimical. So there are 4 things. So for you, first, Subhanga, right? First one is, till the end of our lives, we should be loving to all. Okay? Pranayo maranantah syat. Till the end of our lives, we should be loving to all. What is your this thing? Till the end of our life, we should be loving to all. Second, for you, Vishal, our anger should not last for more than a moment. Is there anybody who is there whose anger doesn't last for more than a moment when we get angry? Achha, he doesn't get angry? Okay, that's good. Our anger should not last for more than a moment as needed by the situation, and we should not carry it over with us. That is the second thing. Third thing, that is for Arun. What was your line? Very good. We should not be giving advice to everyone all the time. Advice should be given based on time, place and circumstances. And fourth one for Dipesh. Never should we be inimical. Okay. Can you repeat your line, Subhanga? You can see there. Great. Okay. Not anyone, everyone. So, great. Fourth one. Okay. Now let's go to the first one. Subhangas. Pranayo maranantah syat. We should be loving to others till the end of our lives. It's a very interesting thing. Actually, sometimes we don't realize our life is too short to carry these grudges for a long time. We become, okay, he didn't look at me properly, he didn't talk to me, and then we carry this in our heart. We become revengeful. We want to take revenge and those kind of things that occupies our mind. But he's telling pranayo maranantah syat. We should be loving to others till the end of our lives. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes, the timeline for loving nature is given as till the end of our lives. Till the end of our lives we have to love. Basically, as spirit souls, parts and parcels of Lord Krishna, who is love personified, this loving nature is inherent in all the souls. We can see the loving, pleasing nature of Lord Krishna very beautifully expressed by Sri Arjuna in Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse. Narmani udara ruchira smita sobhitani, he Partha, he Arjuna, sakhe kuru nandaneti, sanjalpitani naradeva hridisprashani, smartur lutanti hridayam mama madhavasya. O king, his jokings and frank talks were pleasing and beautifully decorated with smiles. He addresses unto me as, O son of Pratha, O friend, O son of the Kuru dynasty, and all such heartiness are now remembered by me, and thus I am overwhelmed. What people remember in our interactions is the sweet dealings. Nobody remembers how harsh that person spoke, and how we became inimical. He was using all those things. Nobody remembers that, but those words which were used lovingly, that is what people remember when the person is not there. Of course, the timeline which is given to display this loving nature is till the end of our life. Very interestingly, there is one example which comes. All of you know who's Bhishma Dev? Who is he? How is he related to the Pandavas? You're there. We get it, yeah. So Dhritarashtra and his brother. They're not brother. They're like yeah. So Vyasadev's sons were Dhritarashtra and Pandu and Vidura, and Santanu, whose wife was Satyavati, and Ganga. So Ganga's son is Bhishma. So Bhishma will be like father, or even more than that, yeah, not brother. So interestingly, Bhishma Dev, when he was lying on the bed of arrows, he says something very interesting. When the Pandavas, accompanied by Krishna, reached there at the deathbed, it was not a soft cushion, it was the bed of arrows, and it was excruciating pain that he was going through. But look at the consciousness of Bhishma Dev. He's saying, when Maharaj Pandu died, his sons were all small children, and naturally they were brought up under the affection of elderly members of the royal family, specifically by Bhishma Dev. Later on, when the Pandavas were grown up, they were cheated by cunning Duryodhana and company, and Bhishma Dev, although he knew that the Pandavas were innocent and were unnecessarily put into trouble, could not take the side of the Pandavas for political reasons. At the last stage of his life, when Bhishma Dev saw his most exalted grandsons, headed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, sitting very gently at his side, the great warrior grandfather could not check his loving tears, which were automatically flowing from his eyes. He remembered the great tribulation suffered by his most pious grandsons. Certainly he was the most satisfied man because of Yudhishthira's being enthroned in place of Duryodhana, and thus he began to congratulate them. It's a very interesting thing which Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, where Bhishma Dev, when he first saw Kunti Devi and the Pandavas, the first reaction that he had is, Aho kashtam, aho anyayam. Sometimes when people express their grief or some kind of difficulties to us, we say, what are you saying? Wait, what I am going through is far more difficult, far more challenging. We don't have even an empathetic hearing. But here, even though Bhishma Dev was lying on the bed of arrows, when he saw that Yudhishthira and Kunti, they have come and they're saying, this is how injustice, how much of difficulty you all went through. Even though you are accompanied by the Dharma personified Krishna himself, you don't deserve this. He says it is because of Kala, the powerful effect of time. But the consciousness that he's having this loving nature, he's forgetting his own pain and he's remembering the pain of others. This is the first thing that we saw. Pranayo maranantaha syat. We have to be loving to others till the end of our lives. That is Subhanga's point. We'll come back to this. We'll have a quiz at the end. We will see who's the winner. The second one is Kopastu kshanabhangura. Our anger should not last more than a moment. And it's very beautifully mentioned. Anger is such a powerful emotion that it is like a fire which can destroy ourselves and those around us. There may be situations in our life where there is a necessity to express anger. but we should not carry over the feeling of anger with us. It is famously said that holding on to anger is like grasping on a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else, but we are the one who gets burnt. And the timeline of anger is given in this beautiful verse of Subhasitam. You can repeat after me. Uttamasya kshanam kopo, madhyamasya praharadvayam, adhamasya tu ahoratre, papishto naiva muchyate. So there are four classes, four categories of people who are mentioned. Uttamasya kshanam kopa, a person who is very elevated in his consciousness. Just because we've got this human body and just because we are dressed nicely externally doesn't mean that our consciousness is evolved in the same way. Not necessarily. Actually, in the scriptures it is mentioned, till the time somebody becomes 25, you can say if he is like 25, he is definitely more intelligent than someone who is below 25. Because he's growing, he's going to college, he's doing masters, he's doing PhD, and so on and so forth. So his knowledge is also proportionately increasing as per his age. But after 25, things are not the same. Depending upon our consciousness, depending upon our association, depending upon how we perceive things, depending upon the training, we react differently. Some people think becoming angry is very, very good, angry young man. But we don't realize how much we are harming before we harm others, because we are carrying those sentiments which are like hot coal with the intent of throwing at someone else. So this thing, the Subhasitam verse is telling Uttamasya kshanam kopo. A person who is very elevated in his consciousness becomes angry for a moment, for a reason, and then he forgets about it. Uttamasya kshanam kopo. Madhyamasya praharadvayam. The Vedic literatures divide the day into 4 praharas. So what is the duration of a day? Yeah, so 4 praharas means 1 prahara is 6 hours. Madhyamasya praharadvayam. That means 1 day or 1 night, 12 hours, he'll remain angry, a person who is madhyama. Adhamasya tu ahoratre. Adhama, the third category, that person will remain angry for aho and ratre, for day and the night, that is 24 hours. Papishta naiva muchyate. Whereas someone who's in a very low, degraded state of consciousness remains angry forever. He is not able to forgive. If a person is of best quality and nature ever becomes angry due to some reason, such anger is momentary. In the case of persons of average quality, the anger lasts for 2 praharas, 6 hours. And the case of persons of low category, it lasts for a day and night, 24 hours. But in the case of most wicked and bad persons, it never leaves them. They always remain angry. So, kopastu kshanabhangura. We should try to not to carry this grudge for a long time. First one was, you can say the English one. No, Subhanga. That's your. No. What was your statement, the first one? I'll help you. Till the end of our life, we should be loving. Pranayo maranantaha syat. Second one is kopastu kshanabhangura. The anger should last only for a moment. Now the third one. Third one is upadesho yatha kalam. Advice is to be given at the proper time. If there is one thing that people would freely give to others, even if they don't ask for it, it is called advice. There is a famous quote by Benjamin Franklin, which goes, wise men do not need advice and fools won't take it. This is what is stated in the Niti Sastra by Chanakya Pandit, often quoted by Prabhupada. Payah panam bhujanganam kevalam vishavardhanam upadesho hi murkhanam prakopayana santaye. When snakes drink milk, it only increases their venom. Similarly, good instructions offered to fools make them angry and does not give them peace of mind. They get disturbed. If somebody comes and you start talking about spirituality, this material, some people, not always, not all. Some people, you say that this, we are going to face death. So they become, why are you so pessimistic? Why are you talking? This is the reality of life. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, if you are familiar, in the 15th chapter, he says, Utkramantam sthitam vapi. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanyutam vimudha nanu pashyanti jnana chakshusha. Utkramantam sthitam vapi. If by some providential arrangement, the spirit soul, which is trapped in the body, remains in this material world for some time, sthitam. It goes through this changes, bodily changes. Somebody is a boy, he becomes a man, he becomes an old man, and he dies. Utkramantam sthitam vapi. So it accepts the body, it remains for some time, bhunjanamba gunanvitam, and then it quits, it leaves the body also. Vimudha nanu pashyanti, a person who is foolish, he is not able to see any of those things. He is thinking this world is meant for enjoyment. Pashyanti jnana chakshusha. However, if you develop a jnana chakshu, a spiritual vision, you will be able to see it. So here it is mentioned, Upadesha hi murkhanam prakopayana santaye. You sometimes, you ask somebody, why don't you take to this process of chanting, or why don't you come to temple? They become angry, they become agitated. Because good instructions offered to fools make them angry and does not give them peace of mind. So then it is mentioned that Upadesho no datavya yaduse tadrushe nare pashya vanara murkhena sugrahi nigrahi kruta. One should not give unsolicited advice to anyone whosoever. Look what the foolish monkey did to Sugrahi bird by destroying its beautiful nest and making it homeless. Anybody knows the story of the Sugrahi bird and a monkey? No? So there was in the tree there was a small bird who was living, and this small bird had made a very beautiful nest. Like, this was winter time, but the bird was very safe and secure inside the nest. It was not feeling the wrath of this cold. But the monkey was shivering because it didn't have any nest. So this bird told to this monkey, you are more capable than me, you have got more strength. Why don't you build a small house for yourself? Why don't you build a small nest? So the monkey, instead of taking the advice in the right way, became angry and broke and destroyed the nest of the bird, Sugrahi bird. So Upadesho no datavya yadushe tadrushe nare. You should not give it to everyone unless a person is interested, he is inquisitive, he is eager to know. This advice is not meant to be given. So this is the third one. And the fourth one is vidveshano kadachana. Never should we be inimical. Lord Krishna very clearly declares in the Bhagavad Gita that a person who is not envious and inimical of other living entities is only very dear to him, and only that person can have spiritual perfection. So there is a very beautiful incident which happened in Ramayana. We will talk about Lord Ram's arrival in Ayodhya tomorrow on the day of the auspicious Diwali. So what happened was in Ramayana, when Ravana was killed, when the battle between Ram and Ravana was over, the Lord asked Bibhishan to perform the final rites for his brother. And Bibhishana said that he has abducted Mother Sita, and so I consider him to be sin personified. So I will not even touch his body. And Lord Ram replied, if that is the case, I will do the final rites myself for Ravana. I have done the final rites for so many people during my stay in forest, for Sabari, for Jatayu, for Kavandha. As long as he was alive, Ravana was thinking of me to be his enemy. Now he is dead, so he cannot think of me as his enemy anymore. For me, I never had a feeling of enmity towards him. Especially there is no question of enmity after death, so I will do it myself. Vibhishana then realized his mistake and did all the final rites for his brother. In this context, Srila Prabhupada states that the Lord was merciful even to his so-called enemy even after his death, and was concerned that he should not fall into hellish conditions. Also in the incarnation of Narsimha, the Lord asked Prahlad to perform the final rites for his father who was killed by the Lord. So we spoke about the four things today. Let's see if you are able to recollect your first one. If he doesn't answer, the question passes to audience, those of you who are sitting on that side. What was the first one? You may choose not to answer. We will see if others are able to remember. Very good. Okay. Second one. Kshana Bhangura, more than a moment. Okay. Third one, Arun. Okay. And the fourth one. We should not be inimical. Inimical is carrying a sense of resentment, grudge. Yeah, inimical. Inimical puts us away from the Lord. So these are the four things that we should remember. If we have to remain equipoised, if we have to face that ultimate exam of death, there are so many distractions which comes. And if we are not able to deal with these distractions, they are called the emotional intelligence, then but natural we will be carried away by our emotions and we will lose this path of perfection. So that is, any questions, any thoughts? I thought you had a question. No, you can go for it. If it's not. Okay, if no questions, we will chant some verses. We have about another 5 minutes. Very interestingly, because this is the holy month of Kartik, where those of you who are from India, I mean, all of you are here from India, right? So, if you know, in this month of Kartik, people go to Vrindavan and they spend time exclusively meditating on Krishna, hearing his glories, chanting his names. It's considered very, very auspicious. So there is a verse in the scriptures which says, Tad dinam durdinam manye megha channam na durdinam yad dinam Krishna samplapa katha piyusa varjitam. Tad dinam durdinam manye. People say now it is in a cloudy day. If it is a bright sunny day, then it is a good day, or it is a very chilly day, cold day. But this devotee, he is telling, Tad dinam durdinam manye megha channam na durdinam. If it is cloudy, or if it is a wintry, if it is too cold, or if it is snowing, I don't consider that to be a bad day. Rather, I consider that day to be a bad day where I don't get a chance to hear Krishna Katha. Krishna Samplapa Katha Piyusa Varjitam. The nectar of the names or the glories of the Lord, if it doesn't go to my ears, I consider that to be a very bad day. So we are very fortunate that at least we are able to spend some time in chanting these verses and meditating on this. So we will chant this verse one more time, and then we will go to chant some verses which we have been chanting in last few days from Mukundamala Stotra. So that is the plan. So you repeat after me. Pranayo marananta syat kopastu kshanabhanguraha upadesho yatha kala vidvesho na kadachana pranayo maranantasya kopastu kshanabhanguraha upadesho yatha kala vidvesho na kadachana. So I'll quickly go. These are all the meditations that we have had in the previous days. Today is the 15th day. So we will chant a very beautiful verse from Mukundamala Stotra. So you can repeat after me. Srinath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Bhakta Priya Chakrapane Shri Padmanabha Chitakaita Bhare Shri Ram Padmaksha Hare Murare Ananta Vaikuntha Mukunda Krishna Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Vaktum Samartho Pinabhakti Kashe Aho Jananam Vyasanabhimukhyam Srinath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Bhakta Priya Chakrapane Shri Padmanabha Chitakaita Bhare Shri Ram Padmaksha Hare Murare Ananta Vaikuntha Mukunda Krishna Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Vaktum Samarthopi na Bhakti Kasche Aho Jananam Vyasanabhimukhyam. So in these prayers, actually, Kulashekar Alvar is telling beautiful names of Lord. There are wonderful names. Yesterday I was telling few of the names. Srinatha. Srinatha is the husband of goddess of fortune. Natha is husband. Shri is goddess of fortune. So one who is the husband of goddess of fortune. Srinatha, that is Narayana. Narayana, anybody knows what is the meaning? Narayana is someone who's maintaining this universe, who enters into this universe to maintain this. Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. Sri Krishna, who's all attractive. Bhakta Priya, very dear to the devotees. Chakrapane, who's holding the Sudarshana disc in his hand. Chakrapane. Sri Padmanabha, the Lord who has got this lotus navel, or from whose navel the lotus comes, the lotus sprouts on which Brahma comes. So Sri Padmanabha. Achyuta. Achyuta is infallible. Kaitavhare. Kaitava is one demon, Madhu Kaitava, and it was killed by Krishna. So Kaitava Ari, the enemy of Kaitava. Sri Rama, the source of all pleasure. Padmaksha, the Lord who has got lotus eyes. Hare. Hare is somebody who snatches, who takes away all the evil, inauspicious things in our life. And he also takes away our mind. Hare. Murare. Murare is the killer of the demon called Mura. Mura Ari. Murare. Ananta. Ananta, who is infinite. Vaikuntha, who is free from all anxieties. Mukunda, who is giver of liberation. Mukti Dadati iti Mukunda. Krishna, all attractive. Govinda, who gives pleasure to our senses and cows. Damodara, the form of the Lord that we are worshipping here and in this entire month. The Lord was bound by Mother Yashoda with the help of a rope. So that is, the rope is called in Sanskrit Dama, and Udara is belly. So Damodara. Madhava. Madhava is the husband of goddess of fortune, Madhaveti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So many names of the Lord are there, and just by chanting these names we can get unlimited pleasure. But the Kulashekar Alvar, the devotee, is concluding something very striking in the last two lines. So you can repeat one more time. Vaktum samartho pina bhakti kaschet aho jananam vyasanabhimukhyam. In Sanskrit, the word aho means alas. Alas. So he is lamenting. This devotee of the Lord is lamenting. Why is he lamenting? What is the cause of his lamentation? Vaktum samartho. In Hindi also, or in most of the regional languages, we have this word which is called samartha. Samartha means capable, one who has got the ability. So he's telling Bhaktum Samartho. Actually, all of us, we've got the ability to speak. There is nobody, very rarely you will find people who are not able to speak. Vaktum Samartho. Everybody has got this ability to vibrate this tongue, to produce this sound. Pina Bhakti Kaschit. However, people are not chanting. They're not taking the names of the Lord in their tongue. And he's telling, Aho Jananam, alas. Alas, O people who are all madly engrossed in this sense gratification. Vyasanabhimukhyam. They're so distracted. Actually, this verse continues. Bhaktum samartho pinavaktina kaschit aho jananam vyasanabhimukhyam pivve jivasa mritameta devam. Actually, we can relish the nectar in our tongue by chanting just Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So, on this holy, auspicious day during Kartik month, all of you have come. You should take a small vow that at least in my life, when I go back, wherever I am, whatever I am doing, I will include this practice of chanting the names of the Lord. It's a very small step, but it can give you immense pleasure. And it will help you to overcome this material entanglement just like that. That is what all these acharyas and all these scriptures are talking about. So we will chant this one more time. Bhaktum Samartho. We have 4 minutes exactly when we will have Damodarashtanga. So you can repeat after me. Bhaktum Samakti Kashche Aho Jananam Vyasanabhimukhyam Pivve Jivasamritameta. It's not there, I know. You have to be attentive to hear. Pive is to drink. Jivasa is by tongue. Amritam etadeva. Pive jivasa amritam etadeva. Next line is easy, you can do it better. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Pive jivasa amritam etadeva. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. 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 Thank you all for your kind attention. Now we will have Damodarashtakam. Shri Shri Kartik Maha Mahotsav ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Damodar ki, Nitai